Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at our right hand technique using a free stroke, but using it primarily around chords and broken chords or arpeggios. One of the most useful techniques in guitar playing. So dive in and let's see how we can develop that perfect right hand technique. So we've covered our thumb technique, we've covered right hand same string free strokes, we've covered right hand rest stroke. The next, and probably one of the most used and comprehensive techniques in guitar playing, is the use of the right hand arpeggiated chord. Now here's an example. I'm going to play a series of chords. Sounds very guitaristic, doesn't it? That's what we realise is the right hand free stroke technique. Everything sounded smooth, it all blended. We were able to project the right notes, the melody notes, to project out and sound clean above everything else. When we hear our famous pieces like the Cavatina, there's a melody over the top of the broken chords. How do we get the consistency of the tone and the colour and the right hand feeling secure about every note, knowing that when you use that right hand finger, it's going to nail it every single time? That's where this is such an important technique, to grasp and have a full understanding of what you're exactly doing with your right hand. That each finger has its own identity and it feels it has the right weight, it adapts accordingly to every note that you're playing. How are we going to do that? Well, let's start by putting the right hand in the right place. So we're putting the thumb on the 6th string, we're putting the index finger on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd string, and annular finger on the 1st string. I've slightly bent my middle finger because it's considerably longer than the others, so I slightly bend it, and that way it's aligned, they're in line, and actually, you look at that, they're touching together, because when we come to use Latin American, it works as one unit. Really important to be able to play multiple chords at one time. This tutorial today is going to cover so many aspects of chordal playing that we're going to really get a grasp of it. So let's start with just all the fingers playing together as a chord. How do we do that? Let's get the fingers joined together. They're contact. Don't have them separated. That's going to cause you problems. Have them contacted. We're not going to worry about the thumb for the moment. Keep the thumb on the 6th string. And then we just play with the fingers up into the hand. Play with it up into the hand. Try and get them so they all go exactly together. Now, you heard the contact of the nail on the string as I went to play it again. That is because I'm placing the fingers on to use as a planted stroke. I'm starting with the fingers on the string. Now let's do it so it's a brush stroke, because that's actually what we use more often than not. So let's start with the fingers off the string, then strike through. Trying to spend as little time on the string, but making sure we have a clean contact. You can hear that. When you feel confident with it slowly, it's a bold decision to strike through the string. Again, all the fingers working. They're not bouncing up like that. Straight up into the hand. Start with it make a decision and play. Feel the amount of weight that each finger has. Then what we're going to do, we're going to look at speeding it up. You can hear the notes are ringing on. The moment you put the finger back on the string, it mutes it. Really important. Now, I'm going to put a bit more weight on the thumb, then the index. This is a more advanced technique, but it really gets you to feel and identify each finger clearly. So what we're going to do, we're going to place a little bit more weight on the thumb so I hear the thumb louder. Then the next chord, I play a little bit harder with the index, a little bit harder with the middle on the next, and then the annular, and then bring it back. You'll see it takes a while to get a sound and get a feel, but there it is. I'll get a little bit more. Difficult to do and pull off well. I've been doing this a long time, so I should be able to do it, but it takes a while for you to get the feel for it. But that's showing that you're able to adapt each finger to bring out an individual note within a chord. That's such a useful technique in classical guitar playing. So push a little bit harder, dig that nail a little bit harder into the string when you play it. I'm still hearing all the other notes in the chord, but I'm bringing out that note that I want to bring out a little bit more. Let's now go and work on our broken chord or our arpeggio technique. That's where we're going to be going P, I, M, A, M, I. Absolutely a brush stroke with this because we want the sustain of every note. We want it all ringing on. Start with thumb, so we're going P, I, M, A, M, I, and then we're going to bring the thumb down to the next string and then to the next. So we'll listen to this pattern. P, I, M, A, M, I. Remember the technique on the thumb? Place the nail in just the right place. Gradually speed it up. When you're confident, don't push it, never push it. Then jump to a different string. That's your right hand pattern. I have an example on my website, and come along and see that on www.keepingguitar.co.uk. I've got a list of right hand patterns that we would use. For example, I don't want to spend too much time on it now, but we could go P, I, M, I, A, I, M, I. Then you can have P, M, A, M, I, M, A, M, P, I, A, M, I, A, etc. Every combination. And it makes a big difference because you listen to this series. I'm bringing M, A. Then you have P. You can hear the difference. Beautiful right hand flowing technique. That's what we're aiming for here. Try and persevere with that. There's a lot in there, I know, I realise that, but come back, pause it, come back, work on it a little bit at a time. There's a lot of information. Just pause it, focus on that, and then work on the technique. Really good luck with that. If you've enjoyed these tutorials, share them amongst your friends. Also, subscribe and click on the button to be alerted when I send out new tutorials. Also, please let me know if you've liked it, either by sending a comment or posting, clicking on the like button. Ask me any questions. If you want some other tutorials that you're really interested in and you want some help with a particular technique, let me know about it. I tend to get back as soon as I can. But in the meantime, good luck with that. Lot to get involved in and a lot to get your teeth into. So I'll see you next time. All the best.